Life of Christ by Fulton J. Sheen. Page 43. Magi and the Slaughter of the Innocents. Simeon had foretold that the divine babe would be a light to the Gentiles. They are already on the march. At his birth, there were the Magi, or the scientists of the East. At his death, there would be the Greeks, or the philosophers of the West. The psalmist had foretold that the kings of the East would come to do homage to Emmanuel. Following a star, they came to Jerusalem to ask Herod where the king had been born. Jesus was born at Bethlehem in Judea during the reign of Herod. After his birth, astrologers from the east arrived in Jerusalem, asking, "Where is the child who is born to be king of the Jews? We observed the rising of his star, and we have come to pay him homage." Matthew 2, 1-2. It was a star that led them. God spoke to the Gentiles through nature and philosophers, to the Jews through prophecies. The time was ripe for the coming of the Messiah, and the whole world knew it. Though they were astrologers, the slight vestige of truth in their knowledge of the stars led them to the star out of Jacob, as the unknown God of the Athenians. Later on would be the occasion for Paul's preaching to them, the God whom they knew not, but dimly desired. Though coming from a land that worshipped stars, they surrendered that religion as they fell down and worshipped him who made the stars. The Gentiles, in fulfillment of the prophecies of Isaiah and Jeremiah, came to him from the ends of the earth. The star which disappeared during the interrogation of Herod reappeared and finally stood over the place where the child was born. At the sight of the star, they were overjoyed. Entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and bowed to the ground in homage to him. When they opened their treasures and offered him gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Matthew 2, 10-11. Isaiah had prophesied, "Camels in droves shall cover the land. Dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all coming from Sheba, laden with golden spice and frankincense, herds of the Lord's promise." Isaiah 60, verse 6. They brought 3 gifts: gold to honor his kingship, frankincense to honor his divinity, and myrrh to honor his humanity, which was destined for death. Myrrh was used at his burial. The crib and the cross are related again, for there is a myrrh at both. When the Magi came from the east bringing gifts for the babe, Herod the Great knew that the time had come for the birth of the king, announced clearly to the Jews, and apprehended dimly in the aspirations of the Gentiles. But like all carnal-minded men, he lacked a spiritual sense, and therefore felt certain that the king would be a political one. He made inquiries as to where Christ was to be born. The chief priests and learned men told him, "At Bethlehem in Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet." Herod said that he wanted to worship the babe, but his actions proved that what he really meant: "If this is the Messiah, I must kill him." When Herod saw how the astrologers had tricked him, he fell into a passion and gave orders for the massacre of all children in Bethlehem and its neighborhood, the age of 2 years or less, corresponding with the time he had ascertained from the astrologers. Matthew 2, verse 16. Herod will forever be the model of those who make inquiries about religion, but who never act rightly on the knowledge they receive. Like train announcers, they know all the stations, but never travel. Head knowledge is worthless unless accompanied by submission to the will and right actions